morning. Meteorologist Landon Hampton with you this morning to bring you the Weather or Not Bowling Green video update. Now we're going to be looking at cloud cover increasing throughout today. It's going to stay warm out there, that's for sure. We could be looking at the possibility of a few strong thunderstorms moving in here late this afternoon into this evening. Then a passing cold front's going to bring much colder temperatures throughout our Wednesday and Thursday before rain chances take over as we get into that upcoming weekend. We got to start off though, we had an immaculate view of some Mammatus clouds yesterday evening across the entirety of south central Kentucky. Gina Grice-Embry taking this awesome photo over Butler County. The Edmonson County Voice and Darren Doyle providing this magnificent shot over Edmonson County. And Dr. Joshua Durkee, assistant professor of WKU Meteorology, providing quite the spectacle over Bowling Green as well as those strong storms pushed off to our south and west yesterday evening. Now, Mammatus clouds, you have that moisture that gets filled up within the anvil of the clouds that are spreading out horizontally from the storm system, and whenever we have that moisture that begins to sag, we have this appearance of what some people refer to as snowballs or even cow udders whenever Mammatus clouds are seen. So a very, very neat spectacle to say the least. Overlooking the white squirrel weather cam, we're underneath partly cloudy skies early this morning, but low clouds are starting to filter in here from our west, and that is going to be in response to that next weather maker that looks to move in here late this afternoon into this evening. Everyone's not going to get in on the rainfall, but for those of us that do see those showers and storms, a few storms will be strong. That will be a possibility that we'll be keeping a very close eye on. It is a very warm start for us across the lower Ohio Valley, right here in south central Kentucky. We're sitting in the upper 50s and lower 60s already very early on this Tuesday, and those temperatures are only going to climb. But I would like to note we are dealing with very light winds out of the north and northeast, and those will continue throughout today, so it is definitely going to be a cooler feel than what we experienced yesterday. Here's a look at the current surface setup. We have a cold front draped right along the Kentucky-Tennessee border, and that's going to kind of set the stage for a little bit later today. We're going to see a complex of storms developing out here to our west, slicing south and east right along the Kentucky-Tennessee line. The bulk of the strongest activity looks to stay to our south, but we are not completely out of the woods on that. So here's a look at the HRRR model and how it's anticipating simulated radar activity. As you can see, really not too much going on throughout the day, maybe an isolated sprinkle or two. However, as we get later into this afternoon, you can see this batch of stronger storms off to our west. Again, riding and hugging right along the Kentucky-Tennessee line. Looks like those of us right along the southern tier of the region will have the best opportunity at seeing the wet stuff for those scattered strong storms late this afternoon and into this evening. And then as we get into tonight with that cold front pressing to our south, that should be taking the rain chances along with it, along with filtering in much colder air out of the north. Here's a look at the severe weather outlook from the Storm Prediction Center for today. Again, slicing right across the southern tier of south central Kentucky. Going to have to keep our eyes for an isolated severe storm or two. Could be coming along with this cluster that'll be working in here. But as you can see where the yellow shade is across the heart of the volunteer state into the northern tier of the Gulf states, that is where the highest risk for severe weather will be today. Any storms that fire up in our area will be capable of producing some small hail along with gusty winds, frequent lightning, and torrential rainfall. Looking at how the rest of the week's going to shape up, we have this area of high pressure to our north that's going to keep filtering in those northerly winds throughout our Wednesday. Going to create even colder temperatures. Wednesday afternoon highs are not going to be able to get out of the upper 40s to lower 50s. We will moderate somewhat on Thursday as winds begin to shift more easterly. But then as we get into this upcoming weekend, into our Friday and into our Saturday, we have this deep upper low that's going to be developing here over the plains that's slowly going to be pulling to the north and east, and unfortunately that means that our weekend looks to be plagued with widespread shower and storm chances. Taking a look at the upper levels of the atmosphere, that can illustrate a little bit better what we're going to be dealing with. As we progress throughout our Wednesday and Thursday, really not much going on, but here comes that cutoff upper low across the Great Plains. And as you can tell, this is valid for Friday evening. It's going to take its sweet time, but as it's continuing to churn off to the north and east, it'll be pumping in that moisture out of our south and west, bringing us continued rain chances, not only through our Saturday and Sunday, but it looks like another upper low is going to peel off early next week, bringing another round, and then yet another upper low gets pulled off by the middle of next week. Long story short, friends, it looks to be a very, very active pattern for us. Looking at precipitation now as we get into our Wednesday and Thursday, we should be dry as a bone underneath partly cloudy skies. But then as that upper low begins to churn in here from our west on Friday, you can see that deep moisture taking over as we get late into our Friday night and into our Saturday, lasting all the way through Sunday, then another round coming in here early next week, and another round set to arrive by late next Thursday into next Friday. So again, just a better testament to that active pattern that we're going to be looking at. Spring has definitely arrived, that is for sure. Here's a look at the next 7 days of total rainfall. Anywhere from 1 inch of the wet stuff up between 2 and 3 inches of the wet stuff will be possible. Still expecting the heaviest rainfall to be across the Boot Heel of Missouri and the northern tier of Arkansas, but we can't rule out surplus rainfall for us between today and next Tuesday morning by 7 a.m. Again, 1 to 3 inches of the wet stuff possible for all of south central Kentucky. Here's a look at the Cheetah Clean Auto Wash next 5 days. We're going to be dry for the most part today, but this afternoon into this evening, 40% chance of scattered strong storms. Highs will be topping out between the upper 60s and lower 70s. Cold front passes tonight, sending lows to near 40. Much colder throughout our Wednesday. Highs only reaching the mid-50s, but we'll rebound to the mid-60s on Thursday, back into the lower 70s on Friday. Then widespread showers and storms returning on Saturday with that pesky upper low working in here from our west. That's going to wrap up this Tuesday morning edition of the Whether or Not Bowling Green video update. Any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments here section of the video forecast post. I'll get to those as soon as possible. But outside of that, you all dress for warmth today. Have that rain jacket, especially if you're heading out this afternoon or this evening. You all have a great, safe Tuesday.